Tonight on the South Today, new apartments beside Dunedin's waterfront, but you might be surprised by their likely tenants. Otago University graduates get the opportunity to premiere their science films on the big screen to eager crowds. And the Mountain Film Festival hits Queenstown, with one filmmaker encouraging people to explore locally. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Hannah Wilkins. There's a new step forward for low-income housing in Dunedin, with a development underway aimed at helping those in need. New apartments are being built beside Dunedin's waterfront, with an historic building being repurposed for the project.
Turning a 19th century building into new housing for those in need. This Dunedin heritage building is being redeveloped to include 30 basic but modern apartments. They'll be used to provide low-income tenants with somewhere to live, under a social housing program run by the Salvation Army. The development is being constructed in the Loan and Mercantile building in Dunedin's waterfront precinct. It has the backing of the Dunedin City Council, with Mayor Jules Raddick saying the city needs more warm, dry and affordable housing.
Everything contributes to the whole, so the more housing we have available, the better off we'll be to provide a home for everyone.
There are more than 400 people currently on the Dunedin Social Housing Register, and Salvation Army Dunedin Corps Officer David McEwen says that number is continuing to grow.
So it's going up very, very quickly, and we're hearing of people that are, mortgagee sales and that sort of thing, so that's bringing them into this sort of housing as well. So the need is growing.
The social housing units are expected to be leased to the Salvation Army for 15 years, with hope the development could be ready to welcome low-income tenants by the end of next year. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Home is where the heart is for one Southland woman. She's become the new principal at a Gore Primary School, which she originally tended way back when as a new entrant.
St Mary's School in Gore has welcomed their new principal at a special ceremony attended by the whole school. St Mary's is a state-integrated Catholic primary school with around 200 pupils who enjoyed being able to join together to mark the occasion. Mallory Hood admits she's not a stranger to St Mary's, coming full circle into this new role.
Well, I'm absolutely stoked, obviously. I've spent a lot of my years as a child at St Mary's, and now back as a teacher, and now as the principal. It's like a full circle. So yeah, I couldn't be more happy. I feel like I've hit the jackpot.
She's looking forward to the new challenges as principal and is keen to build on the strong foundations the school already has. In Gore, the South Today.
The New Zealand International Science Festival got underway today, with over 90 events taking place across the city. One of the first is a screening of science and natural history films produced by postgraduate students from Otago University.
From goat shearing to sharing drugs. They're just a few of the diverse subjects covered in a series of 5 films to be showcased at the Regent Theatre in Lights, Camera, Science. The documentary films are the work of students from the University of Otago's Science Communication course. Graduate Jackie Lynch has looked at the challenges of cashmere.
So it's this farmer called David Shaw down in South Otago who is trying to get cashmere goat farming off the ground in New Zealand, but he's been hit with all this backlash from other farmers who are just typically cattle and sheep, who are like, goats are pests.
Farmers who experienced the boom and bust of a goat industry in the 80s and early 90s are not so receptive despite the potential.
Cashmere gets such a high return for its fibre, it's such a luxurious fibre, and it could be really good for New Zealand's economy and the agricultural world.
Meanwhile, graduate Yannick Gorman has demonstrated the broad range of the university program, choosing to step inside the world of student drug taking for his film.
So the film is a lot more storytelling rather than just plain documentary. While everything is real, like 100%, I didn't make anybody say anything. I've got a protagonist who goes through an experience.
Gorman uses animation and dream sequences to find out about MDMA, a drug he has not personally taken.
And it's very hard to tell a story if you haven't made the experience yourself, so I really needed to spend a lot of time of talking to people.
The 5 films will screen on Friday night at the Regent Theatre as part of the New Zealand International Science Festival. In Dunedin, the South Today.
There was a feast fit for kings in Palmerston yesterday as pupils celebrated the end of their school term.
This hangi was held at East Otago High School on Thursday as pupils marked the penultimate day of the school term. The feast was held to celebrate Matariki and included a good spread of meat and vegetables donated by Palmerston businesses and the local community. Pupils from Palmerston Primary School were also invited over for some kai, alongside members of the rural Otago community.
Good way for us to come together as a community, share some kai, remember the good times that we've had, maybe some of the harder times.
Principal Marcus Cooper said it was great to get the whole school involved in the event for the change to enjoy the cultural feast. In Palmerston, the South Today.
Singing to a big crowd is one thing, but having tens of thousands of young people singing a song you wrote is another. Dunedin singer-songwriter Te Muri Spicer was lucky enough to have that feeling at this week's Sing Up event.
Hundreds of Dunedin school children singing a special song. Local singer-songwriter Te Muri Spicer got to sing his song Blossom Out on Wednesday alongside around 300 school children. Spicer was one of 3 musicians commissioned to write a song for this year's International Sing Up Day. It's a global event which sees children in different countries coming together to sing.
I'll get some kids who come up to me and say, "Oh my God, your song's amazing, it's my favourite." But this is the first time I've heard everybody singing together, and it was absolutely amazing.
Spicer says Blossom Out is a song about the earth and our connection to the natural world. His song was also sung by children from across 4 different continents, celebrating the power of song.
It was just amazing. The children have given it heaps all term learning these songs, and I mean, you were watching, you saw their concentration, you saw their focus. That's what singing's all about. It's about creating community, it's about bringing people together.
Around 10,000 young people were expecting to take part in this year's International Sing Up Day, spreading the joy of music across the world. In Dunedin, the South Today.
The NZ Mountain Film Festival has moved to the opposite side of the Crown Range, giving Queenstown audiences the chance to see a range of documentaries. But one of the resort town's filmmakers hopes his adventures will inspire people to explore locally.
From the top of a hill to the big screen, the New Zealand Mountain Film Festival is showcasing award-winning adventures in Queenstown. The 2-night festival follows 5 nights in Wanaka. The schedule covers a wide range of genres to appeal to everyone, from hardcore mountain climbing through to films exploring foreign environments and cultures.
It's the adventure what it is to you. It doesn't matter what other people are doing, and for some people the adventure is just going for a walk a bit further than they used to go, or exploring some different area. It's not all hardcore, so for us the festival is about encouraging people to get outside and do some adventure that's suitable for them.
Queenstown-based filmmaker Ryan Quirk won the Special Jury Award for his film Close to Home, described as an exhilarating journey capturing some awe-inspiring missions across the South Island. He wants his film to inspire people to explore their local mountains and scenery by showing hidden gems around central Otago, rather than taking a plane further afield.
So we went on about 5 trips last season, just around different areas of the lower South Island in particular. A lot of these zones were places that we ride every season anyway and kind of know that they're good.
The New Zealand Mountain Film Festival started as a family-run business, and 20 years on, the event now gives back to the community, including giving adventure training to under 18-year-olds and helping those with disabilities get into the outdoors. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Whai Yakane still to come on the South Today. A Southland swimmer sets his sights on another top medal after a record-breaking start to the year. And the Queenstown Gondola reopens for business, with locals clambering into the new cabins to score the first rides.
Concern Otago, we offer a range of services to support Otago seniors to age well with dignity and independence. We provide social work support, visiting service, health promotion and social activities. Check out what we have on offer at ageconcernotago.com.
Aero, used by Australia's top bowlers with their unique Z-scoop grip that redefines the game. Machined with robotics for unparalleled accuracy, Aero, same line, every time.
My mate John's shorter sail is now a bit longer. He's extended it till Sunday. There's up to 50% off clearance items and you can pay it off over 24 months interest-free.
My mate John.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Tinakwe, welcome back. Strong promise shown during a recreational swim helped set Southland's Joseph Koroyadi on the lane to success. The 17-year-old broke a regional backstroke record earlier this year and will now line up against the top short course swimmers in the South Island.
Invercargill's Joseph Koroyadi is making waves. The 17-year-old's part of the Murihiku Swimming Club and is selected as one of 38 competitors to represent New Zealand in the Tri-Series swimming meet later this year. The competition takes place in Hawke's Bay in late September, where Koroyadi will race against teams from Western Australia and Victoria State.
First it was like a shock. I was like, Australia representing New Zealand, that's pretty crazy, but yeah, really excited. Hope September comes around real soon.
Koroyadi says he just loves to race, but also enjoys the community and friendships he's built through swimming. He's been training for 8 years after his mum signed him up to swimming lessons. Showing good potential, he was approached by Southland swim school coach Jeremy Duncan.
We sort of basically took him as a wee fella and now here he is as a young adult. So it's been nice to see him just improve and love his, spend time on his craft, and he loves the sport and he's got some really good friends.
Duncan believes Koroyadi's selection will also be an encouragement for other Southland swimmers.
I think it's really good for our younger kids to be able to see that, it is possible to do anything from Southland. Joe's one of many sort of kids along the year, or many years ago, that we've had swim at that meet, so it's fantastic.
Koroyadi heads north this weekend to compete in the South Island Short Course Championships in Blenheim. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Skyline Queenstown is celebrating the end of the first stage of their $250,000 redevelopment. Members of the public jumped on board the new gondola cabins as the company was presented with a special award.
There was liftoff on Friday morning as Queenstown Skyline officially opened their new and improved gondola to the public. It's taken 2 months of solid work and years of planning, but with the cut of a ribbon, the much roomier new 10-seater cabin started to spin, sending its first load of people up the hill at 9 a.m. Skyline actually decided to open the new cable cars a day early with a soft launch on Thursday afternoon, giving eager passengers a sneak peek of the larger and quicker gondola.
And it's only through the dedication of the individuals that worked on this, finding workarounds and more efficient ways to do things, that they achieved what was a pretty tight schedule. We set a big challenge and you've achieved it with a day to spare, I might add.
The new cabins is just one highlight of the $250 million redevelopment of the popular Queenstown attraction. And to mark the milestone, Doppelmayr New Zealand CEO Gareth Heyman presented the company with the Golden Bull Wheel to celebrate 35 years of success. The construction work isn't finished yet. The attraction's new base terminal and ticketing hall should be ready by October, with the new car park building due to open in March next year. In Queenstown, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. New low-income housing apartments are being developed in the historic Lonenburg building by Dunedin's waterfront. A series of films by graduates from Otago University's Science Communication program hit the big screen. And the NZ Mountain Film Festival has moved over the Crown Range for 2 days of films and events in Queenstown. And now we'll look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. We welcome new editor, Paul McIntyre. Hello, Paul.
Hi, evening.
What can we expect in the weekend paper?
So we've got a story about angry ratepayers from Waitaki to Invercargill continuing to hurl abuse at council staff, unfortunately, which has resulted in police being called numerous times.
Oh, so it's quite serious.
It is. And Coronet Peak is set to reopen on Sunday after a big snowfall, hopefully. But the university professors saying its days may be numbered because of climate change.
Okay.
And the Met features a story on the final chain in the Otago Harbour's shared path cycleway as it nears completion.
Wonderful. All right, well, thank you for sharing this evening, Paul. We look forward to reading.
Thank you.
Time now for a look at the weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, widespread snow flurries and bitterly cold winds will bring challenges to outdoor life this weekend as one of the coldest periods of the winter blusters through the region. Heading to the top of the South Island, well, fine with strong southwesterlies and 11 degrees tomorrow in Nelson and Christchurch, while over on the west coast it's looking wet and windy with showers in Greymouth and a high of 10. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago, mostly fine with southwesterlies about in Ashburton and Timaru with 10 degree highs. Waimaru, a bit cloudy with 9 degrees and strong winds. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes, weekend snow is on the way with gusty southwesterlies and wintry highs tomorrow of 4 in Queenstown, 5 for Wanaka and 6 degrees in Alexandra. Heading through the south, more snow showers as we come down here with strong southwesterlies, highs of just 5 degrees in Balclutha, Gore and the Catlins. And across to Invercargill, showers tonight with a low of 3 degrees. Tomorrow's cloudy with cold with hail, sleet and snow flurries with a high of 5. Sunday, a particularly windy day with strong near gale force southwesterlies, showers too, and another 5 degree high. Finally, heading to Dunedin, cloudy tonight and down to 4 with strong winds. Across the weekend, expect snow flurries to the high hills with strong southwesterlies, highs of 7 and lows of 3 degrees. And that's the news this Friday. But tonight we are leaving you with an extended video story from our Queenstown office. Many temporary workers and new arrivals to the resort town are being forced to live in their cars due to an extreme lack of housing options there. So video journalist River von Onelson decided to spend 3 days living in his car to get an idea of the issues they're facing.
Caught in traffic there, stuck in construction there. I've heard plenty of people say that they basically live out of their car. While unfortunately for a lot of people here in Queenstown, that is the harsh reality. As one of the journalists continuously covering the topic of the housing crisis here in this luxury resort town, I've decided to get myself some first-hand experience. So for the next 3 nights, I'm going to be working here as usual, just living out of my car.
Alright, well I am now off to my first night to go sleep at 12 Mile Delta in my car. Off to 12 Mile Delta.
I'm heading out to 12 Mile. It is getting dark. I need to find a place to set up shop for the night. Don't know where that's going to be, but we will find out when we get there. One misconception I feel people have about the homeless situation here is that these people are unemployed, when really that just isn't the case. A lot of people are working just like anyone else and earning well above living wage. There's just nowhere for them to live.
Alright, so I'm here for the first night. I have to set up my bed.
Yeah, we're gonna time-lapse the setup. One thing I didn't really think about when I was going to be sleeping here for the next few days is, what do I do? It's currently 6 o'clock and I don't know what I'm meant to do for the next few hours. It's currently very cold. I think I showed you earlier it was like 7 degrees. It feels like it's 2. I think it is time to go to sleep for the first night. I am going to snuggle up in my nice setup that I have here. So we'll see how it goes. First night. Woo! According to the 2018 census, 27% of Queenstown homes are empty, with many of them being holiday homes and Airbnbs. Arrowtown economist Benji Patterson has shown that there was 649 new houses built last year above what the population needs. Yet we have 1,200 fewer staff now than in the summer of 2019 and 2020. Lack of housing isn't the issue. So what is?
Alright, that is my first night done. It is 6:30 in the morning. I need to now go find a shower. It is cold. Should have worn my jacket. Yeah.
Alright, so that is the first night done. There is 2 more to go. Last night was cold. I went and showered at the event centre because there's nowhere else for me to shower. It's day 2 and after one night, living like this isn't as cheap as you might have thought. It's $15 per night to live at 12 Mile, then there's $5 a shower at the event centre, and to round it all off there's the fuel cost of going back and forth 20 minutes each way. That's $140 per week, and that is getting close to my apartment's rent. Except there I have power, clean water, a bed, Wi-Fi, and phone reception. But this video isn't about me. There are hundreds of people who live like this in Queenstown for months on end. So I'm going to head off and talk to Pete Henney, who lived at 12 Mile Delta for 2 months in his van.
Yep, so I came down to Queenstown wanting to, come down there and get used to it. And I had a flat lined up, but unfortunately it didn't go ahead. So I was forced to live out at 12 Mile because there was no other accommodation available. No, so out at 12 Mile, you've got a pretty view of the mountains, and that's about it. And a long drop.
Work ended a bit late today. I am back off to 12 Mile Delta now to go spend the second night. After talking to Pete today, I realised there's one factor I'm not going to be able to replicate while doing this, and that is the fear of not knowing when it's going to end.
I mean, sometimes it was daunting, and sometimes, you just go, this is how my life's going to be. Make the most of it, at least I've got a car and I'm not in a tent. When you find a place, you're competing with hundreds of other people that are in a similar situation. I've lost count of how many properties I've applied for.
I'm only doing this for 3 nights, and so I have a light at the end of my tunnel, where for many people in Queenstown, they don't have that same relief. This could be going on for weeks, it could be going on for months. Alright, it's the second night, it is about 9 o'clock. It's a bit colder tonight, -1 degree I think it is. Definitely wearing my jacket tonight, last night was way too cold without it. Second night, adios.
It is so much colder this morning. Slept a bit better though. Oh, I definitely need that shower.
Now, we have numerous people living in their cars and tents, but the real question is, what can we even do about it? Tonight I'm going to be talking to the Queenstown Housing Initiative's chairman Hannah Sullivan, who's at the forefront of this issue, and hopefully she might have an answer. Alright, I am heading off for the last night now. It seems to be the coldest, so we'll see how it goes. We're here for the last night and I have met some of the locals here. Roland.
I've been just calling you Willie the whole time. I feel like I've just named you Willie. Wee Willie. There we go. Well, there he is.
Want to tell me how long you've been here for? Or we're here for at least?
Well, I was here the whole summer, apart from the time I was working in Wanaka. Well, no, I actually had a luxury. I had a car and a van and a little teardrop trailer.
I am here with Hannah Sullivan. Why do you think the housing situation has gotten so bad right now?
Because there's been no action. The people who can make a difference are choosing not to. And they're blaming their own rules and their own red tape for the reason we can't do anything. We're so trying to nail down on so many issues that really are not important. If you nail down on the ones that were important and stuck to the rules that you put in place in the first place, this wouldn't be happening.
Last night, good night.
From being in the front lines, what do you think might be a solution to at least alleviate what's going on right now?
We need to start moving red tape, because right now there's so many walls that have been built up to try to protect people, but also it's getting a little bit, it's far too strict now.
It is 2 in the morning and I really need to pee.
We're living in a town that they're trying to make a city, and it's a problem because they're just piling all this in, and you're like, the demand, this is not there. But it is, but we can't, because you're not doing anything to improve it.
I'm awake for the third last night. Couldn't wait to turn the camera on, to turn on the car.
What I think needs to be remembered is that this isn't just some camping trip. This is how people are living for months on end. And now that we're in winter, it's only going to get worse for those in this situation. Hannah and the rest of the Housing Initiative are doing what they can to help alleviate the hardships and making the right connections to those who can help. But they and many others making an effort don't have the power to make changes that is needed to help stop the crisis. So I'll leave you with this question. What is the community prepared to do collectively to make sure that everyone has a roof over their heads? I've been your host, River van Onselen, in Queenstown, the South today.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.